All right, guys, what's going on? Vince down here in Tampa. I got Eddie. I think Ed, you're in Pennsylvania, correct?
No, I'm in West Virginia.
Right, right, West Virginia. I was got. Is your phone number Pennsylvania?
Yes, it is.
All right, that's what threw me because I was like, because sworn he was in West Virginia. Hey guys, what's going on to the New Year? Happy New Year! This is first edition. Ed's my first guest for the 2026 year season, and this first edition of Keep It Rolling, and we're gonna get off and talk about Paws and Valor. And before we get started, Ed, and get into it, I'm gonna hit this intro real quick. And that's a beast of an intro and everything. And guys, I'm a veteran. Ed's a veteran, and we're going to talk about different things. But the key thing about being in the military, it's always the dogs, man. We always like our dogs with us and our pets, and during war and even after war. So Ed, can you give everybody a little background about your service, where are you from, and then how long you served?
Well, I'm 56 years old. I'm from Massachusetts. I'm a 100% disabled veteran. I started my military career in 22 March 1988
Right.
until September 2011. It was an off and on thing whenever I had the opportunity. I was a single father, so that dictated a lot with me. I deployed to Iraq in 2010 as a M2 gunner in a convoy security company.
Okay.
I was active duty for a little while. I was an Army reservist, and I finally found my home in the National Guard. I just
Okay.
absolutely love doing the community service. Massachusetts had storms all the time, nor'easters, hurricanes, all that stuff, and I really enjoyed being out in bad weather.
Well, the guard has a unique job. I was at Fifth Army when I was a DCG there, and we really work close hand in hand with all the states and all the guard units and the commanders of the guard, because it's a critical job when you're trying to look at the overall United States. And I think many people don't realize the importance that Fifth Army or the Beltway has when it comes to homeland security. It's just not homeland; it's the National Guard. It's a component of all those things. Where were you at in Iraq? Where were you based at?
Well, the main unit was Arifjan in
Okay.
Kuwait, but I was always on missions. I told them when I got there, I'm not there to be in Kuwait.
Fob, yeah, be in the fob. So you
R-
ran the gun trucks. Oh, absolutely. Because I had a couple transportation companies and they had the gun trucks run with them, depending on what they were hauling. So hey, why is Paws and Valor such a passion for you?
Well, I moved to Las Vegas in 2016 or so, and that fell through. I don't like cities. I just can't handle it. The noise, everything. But I ended up just breaking my lease on my apartment, threw almost everything I owned with me that I brought out there. I just threw it in the dumpster, packed up my Jeep, and started traveling the country for 3.5 years.
Wow.
And coast to coast, up and down. I followed the 70-degree weather pattern through.
They call it the Sun Belt, right?
Right, right. Excuse me. And in between, I was still had my VA visits and stuff, and they wanted to get me a service dog. But I'm going from the desert to high elevation and stuff, and it was just it wouldn't be right for a dog to be going
Right.
through that. And I finally decided that I was going to buy a house in Ohio. And as soon as I bought the house, I sold my Jeep, bought a new Hyundai Elantra, and I found my dog. I didn't want a service dog. I just wanted a dog. And
Yeah, I mean, I'm a go to the pound kind of guy, and I always got to have a couple mutts around. They're just like I always have like maybe one registered dog, but everybody else they just true blue, man.
right. Well, this dog, he had issues, and he was returned a few times. He was picked up off the streets of Cincinnati, and they tried rehoming him, and he kept being returned. And I saw the picture of him, and I'm like, he's adorable. I talked to the women at the shelter, and they told me there's this 2 week waiting period. They got to check the house, all that stuff, you know. And they saw as soon as I met him and he met me, we went home that day.
Right.
And they actually follow my photography page, and they constantly say that we're their favorite adoption because they were really worried for him. And so I got him, and we really got into hike by myself, and I wanted a companion, and
Right.
he just went with it. He absolutely enjoyed it.
Now, what kind of, not to cut you off, what kind of dog was he?
He's a chow shepherd,
Oh, okay. Yeah, that
and
shepherd in him, man. It's yeah.
yeah, he's loud, and and so we did a lot of hiking. He loved camping with me, and we slept in vehicles. And I had the Hyundai Elantra, and I
Right.
had a bed in the back of it, and we traveled back to Massachusetts. We were going camping all the time in it. We'll sleep anywhere. And then a friend of mine who actually works at another rescue, she sent me a picture of this little baby girl dog. She's a chow chow. She was adopted in West Virginia, brought to Ohio.
Uh-huh.
She escaped, got hit by a car, and she lost her left eye. A piece of her skull was is missing, and she was going through the surgery and rehab. And she just sent me the cutest photo with her little cone on, and her eye was all swollen. And
Right.
I went and met her, and she was scared, really, really scared. So I asked when I could bring my other Heimdall is his name, when I could bring him to meet her. And they said everybody's gone after 2. I brought him, and they got along really good. And I signed the papers. I was bringing her to the vehicle. She
Right.
escaped from me. She
No.
ran right to the dog warden's office, and she picked her up and put a no slip collar on her. And I brought her home,
Right.
and they were around sniffing, getting used to each other. Her very first dinner with me was Wagyu burgers, and she loved me ever since. So
But yeah, but as a veteran, and after you've been, in the box, and you've traveled up and down the MSR, Tampa, and all that, how do you feel that why it's so important that you think service members now, unlike the Vietnam vets, because I think service dogs would have helped the Vietnam vets when they came back. They were pretty much thrown out on the street, benefits cut. If you go back and read the paperwork, it was kind of like the World War I veterans. Vietnam veterans were in the same boat, that their resources were stripped and limited it just for no apparent reason. So why do you think it's so important that now, every time, no matter what you do in the military, that service members, to keep from being lonely, should, probably think about a service dog? Why do you think that?
well, times have definitely changed. I remember my uncle was a combat engineer in Vietnam, and my father said he won't talk about it, all that stuff. And I remember the protest. I remember Walter Cronkite being at my age, because living with my grandmother, she always watched them. And I
That's
remember
right.
seeing what I saw on TV. And I see a lot of issues nowadays with service members feeling that they're entitled to the respect. And I have an issue with that. The Vietnam veterans were not just hated by the protesters, but they were
Right.
also looked down upon by World War II veterans and Korean War veterans, because that was a totally different war, and
Absolutely.
the politics of it. So they were getting it from both, everywhere, veterans and civilians. And nowadays, veterans are talking more about their issues and stuff, which is a great thing.
Right.
And I'm seeing more and more Vietnam veterans talking about their past and what they went through. because now they're more at ease. They're not going to be judged. It's kind of a far memory. And
Yeah. I mean, I
with
make a
having,
point.
go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. So I make it a valid point when I'm Vietnam vet. My dad fought in Vietnam, so I make it a valid point every time I see one to go up and shake their hand, tell them thank you for the service, and tell them what it's a heartfelt meant, for those guys because our society was so broken during that time, and I always tell service members like yourself, man, thank you for your service and the fact that you're always going to go through a healing process. So is photography part of that healing process?
Absolutely. I I was working for a tattoo magazine, and I was forced to photograph models and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I really lost interest in that because they're just so picky. And I love nature,
Right.
and I can actually talk with nature. I have had you see all the things in Yellowstone Park with the bison
Right.
injuring people, but I've walked through there and I've had bison walk up onto me. I have pictures close up. I don't go to them. I've had a bull elk lay down next to me. I've had a bull moose. He got a little agitated because he had a baby and the female with him, so he was kind of protective. But I've had all kinds of wild animals. Pronghorn antelopes come up to me, and those things are so skittish.
Right.
And I have them all on my photography page called Chow Time Adventures. I know we're going for Paws and Valor, but
No,
I do
no,
have
hey,
pictures up
make your
there.
pitch. Yeah, you can pitch. Yeah, make your pitch on it, man. So, hey, say it again so everybody knows where to go.
Chow Time Adventures on Facebook and Instagram. I do a lot of posting on that. Not lately
Platform.
because my had surgery, and we're not really. He's got a 5 month healing. He tore his ACL,
Yeah.
and so it's kind of everything's just about him healing and recovering, and
All
he's
right.
doing a
So,
good job.
all right. So on the project of Paws and Valor, um, I saw that you worked with Heather, who was up. She used to do public, television and all, and on different segments and things. So I saw the first edition and the second edition. So are you trying to make a series, or are you going to make a mini short film? What do you get? What's your goal out of making the right now the things that you're putting on YouTube?
We do micro documentaries on. She lets me go with whatever I'm feeling. Once in a while, I'll ask her what would you like to do, but she wants me to go by what's going on in my life. It's just micro documentaries. We try to keep it short, 5-10 minutes if I really
Right.
get into it. But she's an interesting story. I met her through her husband, who was a Jeeper too, and he was broken down. And in the Jeep community in Las Vegas, in the desert, you don't leave anybody in the
Behind.
desert.
Right.
And
Right.
she was working for PBS, and she saw that I was a photographer. So I did a Las Vegas showgirl documentary with her. I did the
Oh
behind the
wow.
scenes. I did photographs. I'm actually in the documentary. Just by chance that when the camera's going by one of the showgirls, you can see me in the background carrying my camera. I have that
That's
photo
good.
too. So
Hey, right place, right time, right?
right, yeah.
Hey, so when did you get in photography? Was it something you did back when you were in high school, or did it just become a hobby or a passion? Because photography is a tricky animal. Everybody thinks they could be it because the digital camera is so good, but I still believe that you have to have an eye, you have to have lighting, you have to have the angle, and then you have to have the vision. And everybody doesn't have that. I'm like the least artistic person in the world.
I started when I was in 8th grade. My neighbor was a police officer, and he was into photography. And we would go out, and he would show me different techniques. He did a lot of flowers and stuff like that. Getting low macro photography. And I started getting into it. And he actually wanted me to work for the police department doing crime scene photos.
Woo.
And I was like, I don't have the stomach for that.
No, it depends. Oh, no, you're right.
No, no. And so I ended up going into the military after high school, anyways. And I'm still friends with him. I still talk to him. He's actually, when I was living in Vegas, he called me up at around midnight and said, Ed, where are you? I'm like, I'm in bed. What's going on? He's like, there's a shooting going on down the strip. And that was like right down the street from my house, so I could hear everything going on and stuff. And that was another reason why I left Vegas. I was just like, I can't handle this anymore, so.
Yeah, I mean, the big cities are an acquired taste, and me and my mom go back and forth on this all the time. I'm a guy where I like to be able to go to a city if I need to, but overall, man, I'm about nature. So I raise rescue squirrels. And so, funny story. This lady thought she had a squirrel in the other day, and she called me up and she said, "Hey, I got the squirrel. Can you, come pick him up?" So I drive over and pick him up. The squirrel's about as big as my pinky, right? And I'm like, I hate to tell you, this ain't a squirrel. It was a mouse. so it was a baby mouse. Eyes still closed. So we're on going on day 3, man, and I still got him going. Got him on Fox Milk, and then he's still hanging in there, man. But
that's awesome.
But I'm a big nature person. I have 5 dogs, and I'm like with you. I've done a special story about the dog, one of the dogs that lost his leg in Iraq, and then they had to put a prosthetic on it named Lucky. So let me actually ask you this serious question: is you're giving back to the world. So what does your dog do for you from just a mental health standpoint?
He doesn't give me the opportunity to stay in my own head. He's very rambunctious, so I have to be with him. Excuse me. With both dogs, he has her now as a companion, but I can't walk around the house without tripping over a dog. They want to be there. They want to be outside. Both of them absolutely love. And right now, being winter, they're cold weather dogs. They just love being outside.
Oh yeah, but you guys got snow in West Virginia right now? Went over Paws and
it's been
Valor,
raining,
like
which
why
is
we're
great.
on here talking, because I thought it was like a
degrees.
really powerful story that you guys got going on and what you guys are what you guys are creating. So what do you want to take that from here? Are you going to try to put it in a book or write a small journal and release it? What's your goal within the next 2 or 3 years, 5 years on what you're looking at doing with Paws and Valor and your photography?
I really am not one who, I haven't looked that far, but
right.
my thing is I want to inspire people to, like you're into nature. Nature saved my mentality, is to learn to love myself and be comfortable in my own company. I've been 80 miles into the desert, into the Grand Canyon or wherever, all by myself, nobody to rely on. And if I can't get along with myself, I can't be around other people. And I learned so much just listening to silence.
Right.
Nothing around or anything. And then to learn to trust these wild animals. I've had foxes walk up to me and stuff that trust.
Yeah.
And that makes me feel good. It's like these animals think I'm a good person. Why am I not thinking I'm a good person?
Right.
And it just brings in a reality. And I just want to share, for veterans, we're not bad people, and we have to find something within ourselves to love and respect. And that will help with the relationships with other people.
Yeah, man, that's very that's very authentic, because there's a bunch of different agencies out there, and they do a bunch of things, and so sometimes I feel they're not authentic, because where I get in my issue with some of the veteran programs is when I go look and see what the board members make, and I'm like, and I'm going, okay, so you took in like $10 million last year, and you're paying each board member $1 million, and then and you only put like 500,000, 700,000 into the veteran. I'm like, really, people? So that's where I got the holistic soldier program I'm trying to do. I just released my new book like 2 weeks ago, so it just came out. And so I'll get you a copy of it when they send me my book copies in. I'll get you a copy.
That'd be great.
But no, but I realized that somebody said this to me many years ago in the military: stop complaining about what's going wrong, make rank and make a difference.
Right.
So if you make rank, you can make a difference instead of complaining. I'm like, oh yeah, I never looked at that context. So right now, what project are you working on right now? What photography wise, or are you just taking a sabbatical?
I have 3 more months, 2.5 more months left of Heimdall's recovery. Winter is when we do our biggest traveling, because everybody, when it starts getting chilly, everybody says, "Oh, camping season's over." That's when it's beginning for us. Last year at this time, we were in Arizona. We did 5 of the 6 national forests, and all the weather. It was cold. There was snow. It was sunny.
Got it all.
And we had wolves around us, coyotes, wild horses, elk. It was just absolutely one of the. Oh, and coatis. I don't know if you know what a coati is.
No, I don't. What is a coati?
It's a member of the raccoon family, and
yeah,
there was a mountain lion that was after them, and they came running into our camp, and I look over, and the tail is like 3 feet off the ground, and I'm like, I grabbed my camera and I ran after it, and I actually thought it was a ringtail cat at first, but then I found out later on what a coati is, and they stayed with us for 3 days. We saw the mountain lion on the hill. We heard it. My dog's barking, going nuts, and I just kept shining the spotlight in its face, and he just went away.
Yeah.
And it was just amazing. The whole trip, it was just awesome. Had such a great time with Heather's husband. He does a lot of traveling with us. We went 3 months across the country for back in 2018, and we had a great time.
That's my struggle there, right there, is that I think mankind needs to stop pushing into nature. Let nature have its grace, because I raise squirrels, and I'm they're all around my neighborhood where I live. I've raised a whole bunch of them, and a hawk got one day, and my wife screamed, and I said, "What?" She goes, "One of the squirrels." I said, "Well, honey, as bad as that hurts my heart, the hawk still has to eat." I was like, it's the circle of life, man. He's out there in the front yard at midday when the hawk's out. There's nothing we could do about it. But I always look at the thing is that animals are to me, dogs and mankind just have a unique relationship, unlike with cats or any other animal. And I think that having my dogs around, even late at night or whatever, they're a good alarm system. They're when they know when I'm down, like my German Shepherd, Bernice, she's huge. The dog comes over, Lily comes over. She knows if I'm not feeling well or that I'm sick. So I think there's just something special about dogs. So what advice do you have for veterans that are kind of out there, maybe struggling with trying to find their way back, and they're not talking to anybody, and they see this podcast later? What advice would you give them?
Well, if they can afford a dog, because vet bills and food and stuff, I actually feed my dogs real food, so that's a lot of money there. But I have with Haldus being a new addition to the family, I moved here and I have nightmares, and I can tell when I'm tossing and turning, but I couldn't wake up from it, and all of a sudden I just felt something on next to my face, because I was halfway off the bed, pushed down on the bed and then breathed in my face, and I opened my eyes. It was her. She came over to the bed, just put her paw on the bed, and she does that when I'm walking too, or if I'm standing there, she'll put her paw on my foot just to let me know. She woke me up, and I gave her a kiss on her nose, and she went back to sleep. So I don't know if she was concerned for me or I was keeping her awake, but either way, it got me not to have that dream anymore.
Well, I saw a study the other day, and they were talking about dogs and how they absorb into human beings as being their pack, and either they lay on you, or they lay next to you to protect you. So it's really some pretty cool stuff when you peel it back and read why dogs and human beings have such a good relationship. That's why I struggle with anybody that ever harms dogs. I just don't understand why they would do it, because it's just, to me, that they're one of the greatest things that God kind of created on this earth. Hey, I want to say I appreciate you coming on tonight and dropping some content and talking about. So before I get off, what's the name of your Facebook page for photography?
Chow Time Adventures.
There you go. And then the other project is Paws and Valor. Hey guys, this is Ed. This is Vince Bugs, and I'm on there with Ed. And Ed's a great veteran, and I want to thank you for your service, Ed. Thanks. Doing the great things that you're doing out there, and I appreciate you coming on. Keep it rolling, my man.
All right, appreciate it.